What really happens when the narcissist meets someone they can't bend, can't sway, can't break? It's like watching a storm slam into a mountain. Thunder roars, lightning strikes, but the mountain doesn't move. And that, right there, is the beginning of the narcissist's undoing. Now, I want you to imagine this. You're no longer the soft target. You're not the agreeable soul trying to soothe chaos anymore. You're standing tall. Your voice, no longer trembling, is rooted like an oak. You stop explaining yourself. Stop begging to be heard. Stop hoping that reason will thaw a heart carved from ice. And that's when the narcissist starts to crack. You see, trying to reason with the narcissist, that's like whispering poetry into the mouth of a volcano. Pointless. Painful. The narcissist doesn't hear truth. They hear threat. They don't see compromise. They see competition. This isn't someone searching for understanding. This is someone addicted to worship. And when the applause fades, when the spotlight dims, when you finally step off the stage they built for you to dance on, they panic. Because the performance only works if you keep clapping. But then you shift. You stop being afraid of silence. You stop apologizing for existing. Your no becomes sacred. Your presence no longer bends like grass in the wind. It roots, it stands, it breathes freedom. And oh, let me tell you, that's when the narcissist starts malfunctioning like a bad signal on a broken radio. Their entire act, crafted from guilt, wrapped in charm, sealed with a kiss of deceit, starts falling apart the moment you stop being a mirror and start being a person. And now the unraveling begins. First comes the denial. Oh, and it's loud. Olympic-level mental gymnastics. The narcissist doesn't just dismiss reality, they rewrite it aggressively. You say, "This no longer works for me." But they hear, "You've been infected. Someone poisoned your mind." Because it can't be them, never them. Admitting fault will be spiritual death. So, they scramble. Blame your friends. Blame your past. Blame the universe if they have to. You see, the narcissist doesn't lose control gracefully, they thrash. They accuse. They dig for explanations that let them stay on the throne, even if it means casting you as Judas. But truth? Oh, the truth doesn't budge. And truth, my friend, is contagious. Then comes the fear. And it's no quiet visitor. It arrives like a flood. You've just cut off their lifeline, attention, validation, obedience, their favorite flavors of control. And now they're starving. First, they knock sweetly. Gifts, compliments, little remember when stories. But when the door doesn't open, they start pounding. You'll regret this. You're cold. You used me. It's the theater of desperation, dripping in threats, soaked in guilt, packaged like romance. They'll try every disguise, the wounded lover, the generous martyr, the misunderstood genius. They might even offer you the fantasy one last time, like a poisoned apple in a golden box. But you know better now. You see through the glitter. And when that fails, they spin. Hard. The narrative flips. Suddenly, you are the problem. You're unstable. You're confused. You're going through something. They become the concerned observer, the misunderstood saint watching you spiral. They don't ask, "What changed?" They whisper, "This isn't the real them." And the smear campaign begins, subtle, surgical. A comment here, a raised eyebrow there, quiet slander dressed as concern. They don't just rewrite the story for themselves, they hand out copies. And these days, oh, they've got tools. Social media becomes their confessional. They've read a blog post, and now they're Freud. Avoidant attachment. Emotionally unavailable. I think they're the narcissist. They weaponize therapy speak with the grace of a bull in a chapel. Because here's the secret they'll never admit: if you're the villain, they never have to change. But you didn't fall into the trap. You didn't answer the bait. And now the mask slips. Then comes the desperation. Oh Lord, this is where the wheels come off the wagon. It's wild. One minute the narcissist is sobbing on the floor, swearing they'll do anything, to make things right, and the next, accusing you like you empty their bank account and set their childhood on fire. It's chaos wrapped in manipulation, dipped in fake humility, and served on a platter of panic. But listen, none of it is random. Every frantic gesture, every whimper, every swinging emotional punch, it's bait. That's all it is. Bait. Because if they can get you to flinch, to argue, to raise your voice, or even explain yourself, then boom. The line is hooked. Connection reestablished. And baby, that's the prize. See, it's not about love. It never was. It's about the reaction. That's the fix. That's the drug. It doesn't matter if it's good or bad, as long as it's something. Because silence is death to the narcissist. So when you stay grounded, unshaken, unmoved, they lose it. The act escalates. Theatrics crank to full blast. One day it's a handwritten letter. Next day it's an unhinged voice message. If you walk away, I'll disappear. I don't know what I'll do. You'll have blood on your hands. And I need you to hear me when I say this. That's not love. That's not remorse. That's control, dressed up in emotional blackmail. And the more still you stand, the harder they rattle the cage. But that's the key, you gotta stand. Because all the noise, all the fire, it's just smoke. You stop clapping, and that stage starts crumbling. And then the mask comes off. Now we're in the how dare you phase. The gloves are off. The polite pretense is gone. You didn't crawl back like they predicted. You didn't respond to the drama. You had the nerve to be okay without them. And to the narcissist, that's treason. Because in their world, you were never a person. You were possession. And when possession breaks loose and starts living on its own terms, that's betrayal. That's war. So the rage rises, not the kind that always screams, though sometimes it does, but the cold kind, the calculating kind, the kind that plots. Let's see how well they do when I ruin their reputation. They start lobbing bombs, whisper campaigns, anonymous tips, vicious little stories told with a concerned tone. They'll message your friends. They'll poke around your job. They'll slip poison into every well you ever drank from. Because if they can't control you, they'll control how people see you. And here's the truth that burns them the most. When you walk away and start to thrive, start healing, glowing, reclaiming your peace, that's not just rejection. That's exposure. That proves they weren't who they said they were. And that slices deep. So what do they do next? They get slick. When rage fails, when tantrums don't work, they pull out the most dangerous card in the deck, destabilization. Suddenly, they soften. The storm dies down. They call you just to talk. Their voice lowers. The words get sweeter, but don't be fooled. The venom's still there. It's just dressed in velvet now. Are you sure you remember that, right? Didn't you overreact a little? Maybe you're just confused. You've been stressed lately. And now the rewiring begins. They're not yelling anymore. They're sowing doubt, planting little question marks in your soul, erasing your memory, rewriting your past, one gentle word at a time. And if you're still standing tall, they escalate sideways. They name drop. They triangulate. Even so-and-so thinks you're being difficult. You're not the only one who said this about you. It's not about facts. It's about erosion. They don't need to convince you completely. They just need you wobbly. Unsure. They just need a crack. Because once that door opens, even a sliver, they're back in. Back at the helm. And if they can't get in through you directly, they'll go around, through your friends, your inbox, your history. Whatever it takes. Because the narcissist doesn't need love. They need control. And if they can't have your heart, they'll gladly settle for your peace. And finally, the smear campaign. The finale. The desperate last act. By now you've gone quiet. You're not answering. Not defending. Not explaining. And that's the most dangerous thing you've done. Because silence, to a narcissist, is loss. It means they don't own you anymore. So what's the next move? They try to own the story. And they go hard. They'll paint you as the villain in their tale, the unstable one, the betrayer, the one who snapped. And themselves, oh saints, martyrs. I tried everything. I don't know what happened. I just wanted to help. They'll say it with concern, with sadness. They might even cry while saying it. But don't mistake the tone. This isn't sadness, it's sabotage. It's war wrapped in sentimentality. Because if they can get to everyone else before you do, if they can discredit your voice before it even speaks, they win. And the cruelest part, they believe it. Not because it's true, but because it has to be. Because if the truth ever got out, that you left not out of cruelty, but for survival, that you left to live, then they'd have to look in the mirror. And narcissists, they don't do mirrors. And then silence. Not the peaceful kind. No, this one's cold. Clinical. Like the flick of a switch, the narcissist realizes the grip is gone. The game's over. You've stopped feeding the beast. No more attention. No more apologies. No more dancing to a tune only they could hear. So what do? They discard. Just like that. Gone. You might wake up to find they've blocked your number, erased the photos, scrubbed the history, replaced you with someone new like switching out batteries. And the show goes on. Smiling selfies, sweet captions, a brand new soulmate before the ink has even dried on your goodbye. But hear me now. Don't fall for the illusion. That's not healing. That's not peace. That's a hungry spirit latching onto the next person who doesn't see the trap yet. Because a narcissist isn't looking for love. They're hunting for fuel. And when your fire no longer burns for them, they go sniffing for the next flame. They can't stand the quiet. They can't sit alone in their own soul for long. That mask they wear, it doesn't glow on its own. It needs your energy to shine. Your warmth. Your light. So once you disconnect for real, spiritually, emotionally, completely, they panic. And panic makes them move fast. So there it is. The sudden glow up. The overnight engagement. The new chapter plastered all over your screen. Same script, different cast. Same manipulation, different mirror. And from the outside, oh, it looks like they're thriving. But inside, the rot just reset. Let's land this plane together. Here's the truth that most folks won't say out loud. The narcissist doesn't live in reality. They live in a handcrafted dream where they're the hero, the genius, the misunderstood miracle. Everyone else, just props, background noise, extras in a play they wrote but never learned how to direct. And when you stop playing your part, they crumble. It starts subtle. A twitch in the story, a crack in the control. You say no. You stand tall. You stop chasing, explaining, overextending. And suddenly their world shakes. So they reach for everything. Fear, charm, rage, gossip, gaslight, pity, punishment. They set the whole circus on fire just to get one last encore. But you don't show up for the show anymore. That's your win. Not in shouting louder. Not in proving a point. You win when you unplug the mic and walk off the stage for good. You win by choosing peace over performance, stillness over storms, wholeness over havoc. Because every drop of power they ever had, it didn't come from magic. It came from you. From your belief, your hope, your tenderness, your patience, your mercy. They used it all like a battery, and when you saw that, when you realized your worth wasn't up for debate, that was checkmate. And listen, I could go on. We could dig into the collapse that follows, the tears that aren't real, the shame that's just another mask, the chaos they throw when nobody's watching anymore. But not today. Not right now. Because this moment, it's not about them anymore. It's about you. If this stirred something inside you, if it lit up even one flicker of clarity, let it settle. Let it rise. And if you've got something to say, drop it in the comments. I read them. I listen. Because healing, real healing, doesn't happen in silence. It happens in truth, in community, in courage. And if this helped you take back your power, do me one favor. Hit that subscribe button. Not for me, for you. Because this is just the beginning. You've already done the hardest part. You chose yourself. Now let's keep walking.